The referee is pushing Repcar away. There's a certain hand on chest there.
If there is a question about who is the best footballer of all time, the answers are certainly varied and can lead to debate. Ronaldo Nazario, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Pelé and Diego Maradona are some of the candidates. But if the question is about the best referee in football history, surely everyone agrees to mention his name. Let's get more Collina. As the strongest proof of the 6-time FIFA Best Referee Award, and by Franco Football magazine, he was officially named the best referee in the history of football in 2020. His name is also included in Hall of Fame thanks to his extraordinary objectivity during his 28 years in leading the match. It is no surprise that Collina garners immense respect from football enthusiasts worldwide. He is notably the only referee ever to feature on a video game cover in the year 2003. Pierluigi Collina stands as a phenomenal and legendary referee in the history of the sport. During his tenure as a greenfield umpire, there was never a protest that crossed the line under his leadership. Collina's assertive intelligence and commanding presence not only allowed him to enforce field rules effectively, but also helped in managing the anger and frustration of even the most rebellious players. Curious about Luigi Collina's journey and how he earned the title of the best referee in football history? Read the full story. Collina was born on February 13, 1960 in Bologna, Italy. Similar to many of his peers, young Collina enjoyed kicking a ball around, although he also engaged in a variety of other sports at that time. In truth, Collina's favorite sports team during his childhood was not a football team, but the Fortitudo basketball team from Molo, a highly respected team in Serie A of Italian basketball. However, I'm the one who indulges in playing ball frequently. His youth was immersed in the world of ball games with his 11 and Orion. It's just that because he sat on the bench more often, he eventually moved to the Pallavicini club. Uniquely, after 2 years of playing as a central defender, Collina was often given red cards because her tackles were considered dangerous. It seems that experience as a former customer is a red card. That was Collina's early provision on the green field. Before he had the authority to eject a player, he already experienced the sting of being sent off by a referee. Lina, as a player, might not excel remarkably. Her contributions don't significantly impact. Most Nasadar if his talent as a player will not take him to the highest level. Continuing a career as a player, he could end up as an average player, predominantly serving as a backup, with slim prospects of going professional. Once young Collina suffered an injury rather than remain silent, a school friend invited him to attend a refereeing course held by a referee association near where he lived. Like a typical 17-year-old, he took this opportunity to fill his free time or just seek experience. Yet things took an unexpected turn. Tari thinks that a random decision he made in the year 7-7 made him fall in love with the role of referee. His potential as a regulator on the field is more prominent than he is as a player. Until the age of 10, I was still playing football. But after the referee course, everything changed. Maybe it's because I'm not a great football player. After graduating, Collina continued her education at the Faculty of Economics of Bologna University and graduated with great satisfaction in 1984. Along with his studies while doing his military service, he also continued to develop his potential as a referee. In 1983, he had even passed the national level exam and started touring Italy. With the talent he continues to develop, Collina only took a few years to immediately take the stage at the regional level. He is credited with taking the lead in a number of Serie C and Serie C matches in 1908, 8 to 1991. After that, his career accelerated even faster. Because of his firmness of character and the way he led the match. Then he rose to referee in Serie B and Serie A until 2005. There's an interesting story behind his bald head. When he was 24 years old, physical constraints tested him. He suffered from a rare disease known as alopecia universalis. At Christmas, Collina had a high fever due to an autoimmune disorder, which caused all her hair to fall out and never grow back. His transformation initially subjected him to jokes, but it gradually boosted his confidence and solidified his character. Being a referee is quite a challenging job and not widely favored. At a professional level, a referee's decisions are fraught with risk. Even if he excels, no one acknowledges his efforts. However, one mistake by the referee attracts insults from both players and supporters. In playing his part, a referee is frequently subjected to protests and criticisms from numerous individuals for every decision made on the field. In the most severe instances, a referee was even subjected to physical attacks by a supporter and received death threats. However, for Collina, everything was resolved and controlled with her distinct approach. He became the most respected referee in Italy. His composure and confidence never made him intimidated by the screams of the players or the supporters. His aura is extraordinary, able to suppress every ego, anger and frustration of superstars. With a tall stature, a scary face and sharp gaze like eagle eyes. Almost all the players in the matches he led did not dare to protest his policies. Collina also exhibited great courage when dealing with players who tended to terrorize and act out of bounds. He could be even stricter. If he gets a shout, he will shout back in a higher tone, followed by sharp eyes that will be directed at the player. No wonder he always held power. Such was the perception in the eyes of the players. His career at international level began in 1995, when he entered the FIFA referee list after officiating 43 matches in the Italian Serie A. A year later, he officiated in 6 Olympics, including the final between Nigeria and Argentina.
Already in this tournament, now they're 90 minutes away from Olympic glory. Neither of these two countries have ever won Olympic gold in men's football.
At that time, Nigeria managed to overthrow Argentina with a final score of 3-2.
Los de atrás sí parecían en offside. Ahora, el tema es tirar la posición adelantada faltando 2 minutos para
There is
terminar.
the final whistle. There is a historic moment. Nigeria become the first.
His firm character and not easily intimidated by players makes him the talk of the town. That led him to his very first ever World Cup experience. The 1998 World Cup that took place in France gave him an incredible experience when officiating matches in the biggest football tournament in the world.
Penalty! Penalty pour la France!
At that time, he led in 2 group stage matches. One of them was the Belgium vs Netherlands match, which ended with a score of 0-0.
He's got the red out. Yep.
Throughout his career, the man nicknamed Kojak has led a number of important and prestigious matches. In addition to the 9-6 Olympics on 26 May 99, Collina is believed to be the winner of the Champions League final of the 98-99 season between Manchester United against Bayern Munich at Camp Nou. Supporters of both teams are happy with Collina's appointment because they believe that the final will be determined by 22 players on the field, not by the referee's fault. As a referee, Collina ensures being trusted by both parties, rather than being a mere authoritative figure. You should be accepted on the pitch not because you are a referee, but because people believe in you, Collina said. People will forever recall that final as one of the most thrilling and dramatic in Champions League history. How not? When it appears superior throughout the game and believes they will achieve victory. But all the emotions that changed to victory before our eyes disappeared after 2 goals. The situation scored by Tede Sheringham and Gunnar Solskjaer Jr. during injury time briefly silenced the Bayern Munich players and supporters.
Cleared, Giggs with a shot, Sheringham! Beckham, into Sheringham, and Solskjaer has won it!
Indra said that this match was the most dramatic match he had ever led throughout his career. I've been really lucky to have attended a lot of great games, but I especially remember the Manchester United vs Munich final. I will always remember it, for some of the main reasons is the reaction of the MU supporters when they scored 2 goals. It was an incredible sound, like the roar of a lion. Then the reaction of the players was their disappointment, which made them fall on the field after Collidung conceded. The contrasting reaction between happiness and sadness was also Zero Lothar Matthäus' gaze when he saw his opponent's victory trophy. I still watch videos of the game a lot. Everything is unforgettable. It was the most dramatic match I have ever officiated, Collina told on Telegram in April 2008.
History is made. Manchester United are the champions of Europe again, and nobody will ever win a European Cup.
Bayern Munich almost won the match, but entered injury time suddenly. 2 goals nestled in their goal in just a minute. Suddenly the players appeared helpless. There was only sadness in their eyes. Apart from the dramatic moments in that match, the final also presented a moment that made Collina even more respected. After conceding the second goal, which made United take a 2-1 lead in the final minutes, the players appeared unable to stand up to continue the match. Collina approached. They tried to persuade Oliver Kahn and his colleagues to get up and end the match, even though the final result was already visible. Collina reached the peak of her career in June 2002 when she was chosen to referee for the World Cup final between Brazil and Germany. A match that is highly coveted by referees all over the world. He got it. I am sincerely proud that this appointment is a tribute to the Italian refereeing world. Collina has once again made history as the second Italian referee to officiate a World Cup final, following Sergio Gono in 1978. Ahead of the match, Oliver Kahn spoke to the Irish Times about his expectations. Collina is undoubtedly a world-class referee, but she doesn't seem to bring luck to my team. Her Germany reflects on the two big matches Collina led previously and involved him, namely the United vs Munich final and Germany's defeat against England in September 2001. Even at that time, Oliver Kahn's luck apparently did not change. Germany lost 0 to Brazil in the final. In her time, Collina was a typical referee who was so firm, believe in every decision made. The region had already noted that A didn't show the slightest doubt on his face, let alone considered changing it to B. In fact, what makes players rarely protest Collina is not because of her stature and scary face. If his name mentions his principle as a referee, it is what makes the players reluctant to listen to him. Collina, a man of rules, held on to his "I'm a man of the rules" mantra throughout his career in the military, and as a referee, using it to lead matches effectively. At first glance it seems fierce, but because it is always carried out consistently, it is actually the key to culinary strength. The power that makes players put full trust in the systems so that they can bring out their best abilities. Under his leadership, there was no overreaching protest. He was never intimidated, because many of the players usually quit even before protesting. Even that is sometimes enough, just with an ice-cold gaze that seems to be able to shrink their guts. All bowed under his commanding aura and gaze, feeling compelled to accept his decisions for upper regulatory adherence.
Have you ever felt intimidated after giving a decision for a goal or a red card?
No. Not easy to intimidate me.
If that wasn't enough, he didn't hesitate to yell and push to control them. Even so, everyone still respects him. That's because he respects them too. Collina is also known as a referee who always makes thorough preparations before the match. It is known that he always studies the character of every player he will lead the match with. That way, at least he will know which players will create problems and where the trouble points will occur. Football observers also call Collina a very thorough person and willing to work hard to get a position as close as possible to the center of the game. For example, when awarding a penalty for England in the match against Argentina in World Cup II, replays showed Michael Owen jump to avoid Bekabi Pochettino's block. However, his own face was seen sticking his leg across in front of Owen even though the ball had passed them. The Argentine players who wanted to protest cancelled their intentions because Collina was really very close to the scene of the crime. Even when Italian football was rocked by the Calciopoli scandal in the 2005-2006 season, only two referees remained clean, namely Roberto Rossetti and Pierluigi Collina. Collina is not a Lawasit who is easily tempted by the temptation of money. His name remains clear of the score-fixing case. Unfortunately, Collina's career took a downturn in 2005. At that time, FIG, aka the Italian Football Federation, actually decided to raise the age limit for referees from 45 to 46 years, so that Collina, who was 46 years old at that time, could serve another year. This was also done so that he had the opportunity to officiate the final of the 2006 World Cup in Germany. Unfortunately, Collina and Fudge were actually involved in a dispute. This started after Collina teamed up with Opel to become her personal sponsor. Fogsy assessed that the culinary move would give rise to a conflict of interest because Opel was also a sponsor, one of the Italian Serie A team AC Milan. Instead of banning Collina from leading ACC matches and then completely banning her from leading all Serie A matches, feeling distrusted, Collina finally decided to hang the whistle. After 28 years, I made the decision to retire. People must trust the referee. Ultimately, we didn't achieve this. Being a referee in Serie B isn't an issue for me, but it will be futile without trust. If the referee isn't trusted, it is better for him to step down. That's why I retired. The Champions League qualifying match between Everton versus Villarreal on 24th of August 2005 was the final match of Pierluigi Collina's career as a referee on the green field. During Collina's 28-year tenure as an on-field referee, he officiated 467 matches, handing out 1,470 yellow cards and 131 red cards. He has also received many personal awards. A few of them are the awards: 6 times as the best FIFA referee and 7 times as the best referee. It would be. In 2011, Collina also entered the Italian Football Hall of Fame, her name alongside the name of the legend 9 AOL Malini, or the legendary goalkeeper of the Italian national team Dinov. Even the French football magazine officially named him the best referee in football history in 2020. Absolutely remarkable. As a form of high appreciation, Tony, as a football video game producer, once made it the main cover of Pro Evolution Soccer 3. This is certainly very amazing, considering that in general, the cover of the video game is decorated by the players, not a referee. This means that Collina will be recognized for her greatness, like the best player. His fans adore him just as much as they adore football itself. Maybe there won't be any more referees like Collina. After retiring as a referee, Collina ran a business as a financial advisor. However, he cannot be far from the refereeing profession that made his name. Collina served as head of UEFA's refereeing committee, but resigned in 2018. At the time this video was made, he served as president of the FIFA Referees Committee. This is the story of Pierluigi Collina, a referee famed for his firmness, toughness, and fearlessness. A football referee with an extraordinary presence and aura. Thank you for everything. Farewell.